Welcome to GoToMeeting, online meetings made easy. You are the first caller and will be placed on hold until the next caller arrives.
Hello.
Hey, Scotty.
How's everyone tonight?
Good, Scotty. How are you?
Very good. Joan, are you with us? Joan should be coming in shortly. Let's get started. John, TK, what have you got this evening?
Oh, nothing really, Scotty. The only thing that I've noticed on my computer is when I'm on Facebook and scrolling down,
Yeah.
it goes back to, it jumps back up a couple lines. What causes that?
I'm not sure I know what you mean. When you're within a website, meaning I guess that website could be Facebook, something happens that it goes to the top of the page. Is that what you're saying?
Don't go all the way to the top. It'll jump up, maybe 5 inches or so.
Is this this is a mouse you're using, right? Or is it a trackpad?
No, it's a mouse.
All right. It's jumping up. There's a page up button on your keyboard that if you select the page up button, that will move several spaces higher. That's the only thing I can think of. It would.
No, I don't know what it is, but it's not that important. If you have somebody on here that wants to go through something.
Well, the only thing I can think of is if that page up button was being triggered somehow. So, for instance, I'm at the bottom of a web page right here, and if I hit page up, that will kick me up several inches, about 5 inches, the same thing. So, that's the only thing I can think of.
That's on your keyboard, though, you're talking about.
Yeah, there's bound to be some sort of trigger that you're causing. The machine's not doing it just on its own. You as a human being are causing that to happen. It would just be a matter of figuring out what you are triggering. Just like last week when we were looking at how these windows were increasing and decreasing in size, and what was happening is you were inadvertently touching with 2 or 3 fingers, and it was causing that. There is something else that you're causing too. I'm just not sure what it is. Well, let me think about it, and we'll come back around to you. Joanne, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. What have you got? Have you got a question this evening?
Well, you know me. I've always got 100, but no, not right now.
Well, okay. We'll skip you and come back around then. Joan, what have you got this evening for us?
The same question I asked you about a month ago, and it just, I don't know, I wrote it down, it's not working. When I'm using messages, the text, the free text,
Yeah.
I still, no matter what I press, whether I press command, return, option, control, it still will not start a new paragraph for me. It just keeps sending everything all blurred together.
Okay, so you're right. Now this is in the messaging app. You write several lines, and then something happens where it will not send all those lines as one sort of paragraph, that is?
Right. In other words, I'll say, hello, how are you? New paragraph, I didn't do well today, whatever. It won't do the paragraph thing. It just sends it all at once. Now, you told me about a month ago to press either command return, option return, tab return, something, shift return, but it's just not working. It just keeps
Can I see you? Can I see you do this? What we're talking about? Can we watch you send a text message?
Sure.
Okay, let me send this over to you. And all right, we're sending away here. All right, and if you would minimize that Safari window for us, you can actually close that Safari window.
Whoop.
Yeah, let's minimize that. And then we'll get that messaging app up. Okay, so let's take a look at it. You've got a conversation that you can continue with me. So why don't you write me a message? I see that I'm in your queue there. Okay. And tell me then what's going on. So let's see. Okay. Are you? You're not trying to
Okay.
format. Go ahead.
No. Now, if I send this,
Yeah.
I may want to write more. And a new paragraph would be like, blah, 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 happened today. Now, how do I do a new paragraph without sending it to you?
You're not going to. Now that I see what you're trying to do, this is not a word processing document. This is a text. This is a texting program. And remember, texting comes from the days of back in the old days when we only had phones that had numbers on them. And so this is not the kind of thing where you're going to do a lot of word processing. You're just going to write whatever sentences. They're going to be long strings, and then you're going to send them out. So don't. If you want a new paragraph in a text messaging application like this, you're barking up the wrong tree. Write an email. Is that
Okay, but you told me about a month ago how to do it.
you want to send you want to create a new line? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, in other words, yes. Yeah, I want to create a new paragraph because, I was a foreign language and English teacher. I don't like running out of paragraphs.
Well, let me try something here. Let me see
You
if I
told me something, and I think it worked once or twice, and wherever I wrote it down, I am unable to find it right now.
All right, and I probably recorded it, so we could have gone back and listened to the recording.
And I've watched, I missed last week, and I think only half recorded last week. Is that correct?
Well, I think we had a very short. No, you weren't on. We had a very short time, so we were just in and out.
I did get to watch it, but I wasn't sure if it was a problem on my part or not.
Give me a moment here, and let me see if I can. If anybody else can come up with the answer to this while I'm looking for it, that would be great too.
There was a way, I know. There has to be, because nobody wants run-on paragraphs.
No, I'm going to be mean here. Nobody cares, Joan. You care, but nobody else in the world cares. Let me see. This is a sentence.
But you told me how to do it.
And you should have remembered. Now I'm having to do it again. Let me see.
It was command shift, or
Yeah,
shift.
let me see.
This is short. And it actually worked once, and I have so many notes, Jim, and I just can't find it right now.
Try shift enter. Try shift return.
Okay, now I have to type something else. Okay. Today was
I'm working on it here.
a good weather day.
Nope, that's not it.
Now I typed something else, and let's have.
There you go. Option return does it. If you hold down the option key and then hit option return, will do it. So
All right. But then I pushed and it sent it.
okay, so I just sent Joan a text message that said, well, actually, you guys can see it. Test back. I did new line again, new line. So now you hold the option key and hit return. All right. That answers that question. So option return.
It didn't send it though.
No, it's not sending it. It's creating a new line so you can do your little new paragraph you're talking about.
Okay, let me write that in big letters. Option return.
Yeah. So there you go. We're going to move on. We're going to come back around. Daryl, you got something for us this evening?
Yeah, Scotty, can I get on, what is it, Spotify or Sportify? Or
Spotify, yeah.
without signing up through Facebook?
A little too late. Used to you could be able to, but not now. Now you have to have a Facebook account, from what I understand. I signed into Spotify without using a Facebook account, but they have since changed that, I believe. I believe you now have to have a Facebook account. Now you can choose not to share any of the music that you listen to through Facebook, and that's fine. But
That's one of the options you can share You don't have to share the music?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, you can just listen in private. But let's ask the great Google gods if Spotify account new without Facebook. There's a lot of people that search for that. Let's see what comes up here. Community. Now, again, this is, you used to. Okay, here's September 5th, the answer. Let's see. Cannot create one. That was in May of last year. Let's go to this other answer here. That's Spotify changed its registration page. So maybe you can register with Spotify not through the app, but through their actual page. Let's see. How about this? We're getting close here. Google is our friend. Spotify, this is German. We don't want German. Let's see. If we go Spotify, sign up. Let's see where that gets us. Create an account. There we go, right there. Okay. So, Daryl, are you looking at my page?
I am.
So what I did was I went to spotify.com/signup. And it says, create an account using Spotify with Facebook or using your email address. So there's a little back door. If you do it through the app, I believe the app only gives you the Facebook ability. But there's your answer right there. Spotify.com/signup. All right?
Go through just the internet, right?
Yeah, go through your web page, create an create an account with your email address and a password, then go back into the app using that email and password, and that should work.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go back around. John, you have anything else on your mind except for the other things that you?
Yeah, Scotty. There's one that I'm thinking about that happened today.
Let's hear it.
I play Pogo challenges every day.
Yeah.
And I went to the puzzle today with one of the challenges, and my keyboard is locked. I could see the puzzle screen, but when I go to type in the answer for the puzzle, it don't type. The keyboard is like it's locked.
It's
So I
probably.
can go over to the messages, where you type to send somebody a message that anybody else having this problem.
Yeah.
It just won't type. Nothing.
And you're clicking in the actual area. This can be confusing, and you may be beyond this, but I'll say it anyway. Let's say, actually, let me stop this. If you're looking at my page that I'm looking at right now, I've got a web page in front of me, and that web page, I could type something in the URL bar up at the top, or I could type in the search area over here on the right-hand side. If I click into this area, then that gives me the ability to type. But if I forgot that I clicked in that area and I'm thinking and I move my mouse back up to the top where maybe I want to go to CNN.com, I might forget that. So while my mouse is sitting there, as I'm typing, it's not really going to do anything. So you have to click in the place that you want to type. And my first guess would be that you just had not clicked to place your cursor in the place that you wanted to type. Do you think that's true? Or
No, I reset the whole page and everything. You want to look at my computer?
Absolutely.
Into my,
Yeah.
Pogo?
Yeah, let's take a look at it. So fire that up and we're going to go over to your computer here.
Pogo. What in the world? How do I get to my screen here now? Because I got the screen sharing over there.
You'll see a request to share your screen, so that will help a little bit because that will
I
minimize.
need to go into my Pogo.
Okay.
Because it's under Safari.
Yeah. So why don't you do this? You see where it says Citrix Online in green, and you could type in a new web page up there? Yeah, over in the left-hand side it says Citrix Online, and that's in green. Now move over to the word download, which is right next to that. Now do a triple click. 1, 2, 3. Click, click, click. There you go. Now type in pogo.com or just go to wherever you want to go. Or you had a bookmark there too.
Pogo.com.
All right. Well, you put a comma in there, so it searched for comma. So just select either one of those. That's fine. The link is right there.
Just the Pogo.com?
Wherever your game is.
Oh. Let me
I don't know where this game is.
Sign in. There we go.
While John is signing in, Joanne, I was on the lake on Saturday and there was crazy wind. I was in a race and one of my partners in a sailboat blew his mast. The mast broke completely in half. Yeah, lost his mast. It's probably $3,000 or $4,000 worth of equipment. So, luckily nobody was hurt.
Well, Sunday was even worse with the wind gusts.
Yeah. I wasn't out there Sunday, but I was there all day Saturday. All right, so here we are, John. What game are we thinking of?
It's on the crossword here. I'm bringing it up now.
Okay. All right. So show us where we need to type.
Okay, now if I go up to number 1 here,
Yeah.
and I want to type cape, which is C-A-P-E, see, nothing is happening.
And that's usually, as soon as you enter that, and that's normally where the letters go in. You highlight 1 and it knows 1 across. You type it and
Right.
nothing's going on. You have to sign in to see this. If anybody has any ideas, please let us know. Go down if you would, John, to the messaging app on the right-hand side there. So let's click on there, yeah, and just type in a couple letters to make sure our keyboard's fine. Like dot dot dot, any little thing. Okay. Can you choose something else besides 1 across, maybe 10 across or something like that? Let's see that activate. Yeah, so let's select different areas within the game.
Let's try, I'll just put any in because
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, yeah, and nothing enters in. Can you use the arrow keys to go up 1 or down 1? So can you use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move up or down?
Let me see where they are here.
Does that give us the ability? No arrow keys to do anything with that? So you clicked there. Did you click there?
Yep, nothing.
I don't know the answer as to why that would be happening. I'm sure it's a simple thing. It could be, these games run on Flash, on top of Flash probably, so there might be a Flash update that is required. You know, you've gone down this road with Flash.
Yeah, it's funny that it's working over, where you type the message.
Yeah.
But it won't type it on the puzzle.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Do you have to have a login to be able to play this game? Or can you get to it for free?
I really don't know, to tell you the truth. I
All
think you have to, I can invite a friend.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have caps lock on? Check your keyboard, because we know that you're not using an Apple keyboard. You're using a different keyboard. So turn that off and then hit some keys. Nothing. Okay. Do you see on your number pad, is there a numbers lock, num lock on your numbers pad?
Yeah, it probably is here. Let me see.
Let's toggle that on and off and see if that will do anything.
Yeah, just capitals lock.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, John. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure that if I was sitting, of course you're in New York, but I'm sure that if I was sitting in front of the computer, we could figure it out. There might be something that's turned onto the keyboard to lock it out. I have a feeling it's Flash, though.
It works on other program or other games other than this one.
Well, the next thing you do then is log in using Chrome. All right, John? So instead of using Safari, go to the same web page, but use Chrome to do it instead of Safari, and see how that works.
When I do that, it tells me that the Java is not acceptable. Java had a big problem last week. Remember, I text you, but I never did reach you. But
Yeah.
then I found a way to get by it by blocking the firewall.
Oh.
Java was having a heck of a problem, or Pogo was having a heck of a problem with Java.
Yeah. And well, go under the Black Apple. There might be a Java update too. So under the Black Apple software updates and see if there's a Java update that is available for you. That's the only thing I can think of. These games run on top of software that runs inside a browser, and both Java and Flash are kind of old. You know, HTML5 is the way to go, but whoever designs this website is probably not going to recode all these games into HTML5. But that might be it. Saying that Java had an issue could be a little bit of a problem. But let's see if there's check for updates. Update, second button. Let's see what you got there.
But it told me all the time that I had the latest update.
Yeah. I don't know.
Still saying that I have the recommended one.
Yeah, and you're not able to get to this through Chrome, huh?
No, because Chrome had something that was not updated. Well, it kept telling me it wasn't updated. Oh, I know what it was. Remember you changed over from my 62 to 34 something?
64-bit, 32-bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Remember originally, I tried to go back to our meeting back in April, and I couldn't go back to it on how you did it.
Yeah, I think the internet is passing these games by is what's happening. And if we had to bring these back to 32-bit to run these games, which is probably what we had to do, there will come a time when, John, this website has got to update their engine that runs underneath this, because the rest of the internet world is moving on.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, I can, and I don't know
This
what.
is how I got back in.
Don't block. What the
Where it
heck?
says block and don't block, I hit the don't block, and that's how I got back in.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And one of the reasons that we're leaving Java and Flash is that they're unstable and unsecure. And this is just a little security measure within Java that's trying to say, hey, something's running. Because these are programs that can run in the background, and those are not really necessarily healthy or safe things to do. But you want to do this, and I understand that. I don't think I have a very good answer for this.
Okay.
But there could be
No
an
problem.
update. There could be an update that runs that fixes this. So make sure under the Black Apple you've run all of your updates. Try the other browser. You could also try Firefox as well. So download Firefox. You do a Google search for Firefox. See if that works too. But the thing is Java is a set of code that sits in your computer, and all of your browsers use that same set of code. So it's not like there's a version for Chrome of Java and there's a version of Java for Safari. It's Java sits in your computer and your browser uses it. So
Yeah, well, it's only this game, so I'm not going to worry about it at this point.
okay. Well, let me keep moving. Joanne, did you come up with another issue that we need to hit?
Yeah, a while back, my phone kept stopping downloading updates right in the middle of it, and you told me to restart the phone. And I've done that, but I've got like 3 updates that I've tried to download, and they're just not. They stop in the middle, and then I can't get them off the app sign.
Okay, are you updating your phone from the phone or from within iTunes?
From the phone.
Let's try going from iTunes. So here I have iTunes connected, and I've got iTunes on, and I've got my phone plugged up to this iTunes. If you can see my screen, you see on the left-hand side, you see Scotty's phone. So let's say I'm behind by an update, or 2 or 3. If I select that, now, and there are 2 different types of updates we're talking about. We're talking about app updates or the operating system update. Do you know which one we're talking about? I'm asking.
These are app updates.
Okay. All right. Well, then still same thing. Within your apps, if you see on my iTunes, I see the word apps, and then I've got 39. And that means that as far as my computer's concerned, there are 39 updates. So there are a couple different ways that we can solve this, or we can try to solve it. If you go to the apps in iTunes, then you see 39 updates available, or whatever, how many you have. Select that and run all those updates from the computer. Then go to your phone and sync your phone. You see sync in the bottom right-hand corner there. So you can try that. If that is not the way well, let me just tell you another way you could do it. The other way is possibly with your phone, delete the apps that are refusing to be updated and just re-download them again. So touch and hold, wait for them to jiggle, find the app that you want to delete it, and then go re-download that again. Sometimes these apps will, how do you say it? They will stick themselves into limbo. They'll get to a point where they won't update. And oftentimes it's because something else is not up to date on your phone. So make sure that the phone is all the way up to date, and then run the updates on the apps.
Okay, speaking of which, you always say wait to run the updates. So I haven't run the latest iOS update. Should I just go ahead and do that?
Absolutely. That's probably why those are not updating.
No, this was way before that update came out.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and run it. It's 6.3.4 if you're an iPhone 5 user, I believe.
Right.
6.1.3 for regular iPhone 4, iPhone 4S people.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the problems that I don't like, one of the things that I wish that Apple would fix is that oftentimes the operating system of the phone and the version of the apps are not in line with each other. So you can update your apps and they don't work because you've updated the apps and they go, oh, you don't have 6.1.4. We're not going to work anymore. Whereas what should happen is they should say, well, look, if 6.1.4 is required, don't even show us, and we don't have it, don't even show us that an update is available. Don't show us that the apps are updatable until I move to the latest version of the operating system. But that's a little odd thing. But anyway, yeah, run that software update, and then you can try those two different choices that we had. All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go back up to Joan. Joan, did you have another issue that we can try to hit?
No, my contract with AT&T is up shortly, and I don't know if it's worth going to the iPhone 5 or not.
Oh, well, this is what I have to say about contracts. You buy the phone subsidized from your provider, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, whoever. Basically what happens is Apple makes the phone, Apple sells the phone to AT&T or one of the providers for the full price. Then the provider sells the phone to you for a fraction of the price, and then you have a 2-year contract, and you pay that price of the phone off over that 2 years. Once that 2 years is up, and so they pad into your account the price of the phone. And that's why we have these contracts that if we break the contract, we have to basically pay the phone off is what's happening. But once you've got to the end of that contract, it doesn't, to me, really make a lot of sense unless you're really, really financially pushed for it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to just continue to use your old phone out of contract, because then you're just paying, your bill doesn't go down. They're not lowering your bill because you paid your phone off. They're just taking the extra money that went to paying the phone off just to put in their pockets. So for me,
Scotty,
Yeah.
when I get a new phone, Warner gets my 4S.
Yeah.
So we sort of keep up to date that way by, moving forward one step at a time.
yeah, right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, they also have offered us, I'm hearing a lot of feedback, and I'm not sure why.
I don't know. We can all try to turn our volumes down a little bit. All right, maybe that'll help some.
Okay, my other question is, we've been iffy about keeping our landline,
Yeah.
and now AT&T has a new thing. It's a little box, very inexpensive, and you get to keep your own phone number, and it takes over from what we're paying Windstream, which is a fortune, just for our daughter in Huntersville to call us.
Yeah. I'll tell you, for all of us in this meeting right now, as far as I can glance, most of us, none of us, I'll put it like this, none of us are in our 20s that I can see, and none of us are in our 30s in this meeting. Most of us are over our 30s. And it's the people that are under 40. No one under 30 has a landline. No one under 30 does lots of things that all of us still hold on to. You might still subscribe to the newspaper, Joan. You might be one of those people that still, yeah, okay. But the day's going to come when there's no need to subscribe to a newspaper, nor that you will be able to. And the same thing is with this phone line, the home phone. You are still of the mindset, and there's nothing wrong with this, because you lived your whole life with a phone that had a cable connected to a wall, from back in the old days, and or whatever, or to a module, and you could.
Which I like better than the way Apple's phone
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, but those days are numbered, and the days of having a landline, while we might still be 10 years away, most of the youth of the world have no need for a landline, and none at all. But the phone company knows that there are people like yourself, so they're going to continue to market for you. I would take a poll of us in this meeting tonight, and I think everybody in this meeting probably has a landline except me. Joanne, do you still have a landline?
Yes.
Yeah, and Emiday, I'm sure that you do, right?
I do, but I'm wondering which contract you're talking about. You talking about the cell phone or the landline?
That's a good question. Joan, do you want to clarify that?
This is just something additional. We went over to AT&T across the street to find out when my contract was up, and they have this little box, and it's way cheaper. We're paying Windstream $60, $70 a month just for our daughter in Huntersville to make local phone calls to us, which is crazy. And AT&T has offered us this one-time thing, whatever, way cheaper.
Let me-
$10 a month, and we get long distance.
Well, let me
Not giving us long distance, only local.
let me interject something. Could your daughter just call you on her cell phone?
She could, but very honestly, I have two nights, and that makes hearing on the cell phone much harder than putting my landline on speakerphone.
I understand that. And actually, another thing that you might think about too is Skype is absolutely free. And the youth of our world know that, by the way. There are kids running around in their 20s that don't even have a phone. They have an iPod Touch and Skype, and they get on a Wi-Fi network, and they just call that way. So Skype to Skype is free, and the voice clarity is a lot better than even a landline. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to show you something.
Kelly, can I ask something here?
Yeah, take it.
She has cable TV, right?
Yeah, Joan, how do you get your internet access?
We get that through Time Warner. We have a Time Warner DVR, and we also have TiVo.
Now, the other thing you could...
Okay.
Go ahead, John.
On my setup, I have Adam's cable. I have my phone, my TV, and my internet all for one price. It's a combination deal, and the telephone is worldwide, long distance free.
Joan, what are you paying Windstream for? Your phone? Your landline?
The landline, but it's just for local calls. In other words, politicians, charities, and our daughter and doctors.
One of the other things you could look at is go to Time Warner and say, hey, I have an existing phone number that I do not want to change. What would it cost me to have you guys carry that over? And then what Time Warner would do would be to give you a new modem, but that new modem would have a phone jack on the back of it. And the way that Time Warner hands out phone numbers in Charlotte, or I should say phone service in Charlotte, is actually your phone is then going over the internet. But you don't know that. Your phone rings. It's just like a landline. It's exactly like.
The only problem we have a lot of friends that did that, and the first year they come up and go, oh, it's only blah, blah, blah per month.
Yeah.
And then they wham you this freaking year and like double it.
Well, you're right now paying $67 a month for that landline, so it couldn't be any worse than that. You're probably paying around 40-something. Well, at least talk to them and ask them about it. Let me throw one more thing in. I brought up my list of most hated products that I've already got published on my website, and number 3 is Windstream. Windstream, I cannot say enough bad about Windstream. I absolutely hate that company. So, I can't even... I don't like Windstream at all. And it's also, by the way, if somebody calls me and says... Go ahead.
We had, what was the thing down here, the original phone company down here, and
Bell
Windstream took them out.
Yeah.
Alltel.
Yeah.
We had Alltel, and we were very happy with Alltel when we moved here.
Yeah.
And then we took them over, and we were
Let me
tucked in with.
let me tell you a real quick story. And actually, this person's been in the town hall. He was in town hall a couple weeks ago. Windstream does business class internet service in Charlotte. Okay, great. Everybody does. That's awesome. And I went over to a client's business one time, and their internet was massively slow, just absolutely horrendous. And I said to the person, I said, man, this connection is really bad. Who are you using? He said, Windstream. And I said, yeah, well, that sounds about right. He says, no, this is business class. And I said, how much are you paying? He said, he was paying $400 a month for this business class internet. And I was like, well, we need to get these guys out here because this is very, very bad. You're getting like maybe 1 megabyte. And so he had them come out, and they looked at it and they said, there's nothing wrong with your connection. And he said, well, what's going on here? And their reasoning was that while you might get 20 down in a residential section, that's not a guaranteed 20. He said, we guarantee 1 down and 1 up. Guaranteed. And I was like, I would rather take my chances in sometimes not getting 20, sometimes I get 18, sometimes I get 15. But and this is not the first. I've probably dealt with Windstream, oh man, I can't tell you how many times. It's just absolutely
Well, we don't get our internet. We get our internet from Time Warner, not
Yeah, it's the same company though, and these guys, man. So and the other thing you can do, and I do have clients that will do this. They'll sign up for Time Warner, whatever service. Let's say they switch from AT&T internet service over to Time Warner internet service, and it says $29 for the first 6 months. So they sign up for the $29 for 6 months. The 7th month comes, they call up and they say, well, it's great, but I'm ready to switch, and then they sometimes will drop the price again. But there's a saying in retail, there's a saying in the business to get to yes. And these companies know that, and they would rather get to the word yes than lose you as a customer. So what does it take for them to get to yes? Sometimes it's not the first or the second person, but you can get to the third person usually, and they have the power. But
one thing though, Scotty, if you don't have a wired service and the power goes out for internet, you don't have a phone.
But you have a cell phone. And I know, Emma Day, you have a cell phone, right?
But if Time Warner goes out, you have a cell phone, but you don't have connection, do you?
Yeah.
It goes out.
Yeah, your iPhone, I'm sure that you probably have an iPhone, Emma Day, and if your power goes out, we have a big storm, you still have a cell phone, and you could still make a call if you wanted to. And you're exactly right, but however, there is a battery, you're kind of right. There's a battery backup in those devices. By law, these companies have to be able to still provide you the ability to call 911 even if the power goes out. And you and I both remember storms where we could still call on the phone, but the power was out. So Time Warner has a router that has a battery inside it, and that battery provides charge enough to send voice calls still. So that's not exactly true. All right? But that's a good point.
And that is a good deal on that, to go through your computer system for all three, could just save a lot of money than just having telephone, cable TV, and computer.
Yeah, bundling. So, Joan?
You have the-
Okay, so basically your advice is to do everything through Time Warner.
That would be my second piece of advice. My first piece of advice would be, no matter how much it pains you, kill your phone line. But I know that we're not really ready to do that yet. And when I say we, I mean the people I'm talking to right now, not
Well,
me.
you can't do that if you have a device that's checked over the wired phone. That's one problem I've got.
What are you talking about, Emma Day?
I have a pacemaker.
Oh,
Check
that's
it every
okay.
3 months.
Yeah.
So you have to do it over the phone.
Well, that's very true. Absolutely. Yeah, you
Hey,
can't.
Scotty,
Yes, Joanne.
I
Take.
have to defend myself
All right, let's hear it.
because based upon what I used to do, there are many things I can do with a landline that I cannot do with a cell phone.
Right. That's true. Can you, with keeping within vague descriptions, can you give us an example of one of those things? Meaning, now, do you mean you and your business or regular people, like
No,
citizens?
what I used to do.
Right. But a regular citizen there are several things that citizens don't really absolutely need anymore. They don't need the newspaper coming to their door, because you can get it other ways. You also don't need the magazine coming to your door. You don't need cable television anymore, because very soon everything that you want to watch will be available through the internet. We're getting closer and closer, and I'm really surprised every week. I meet new people, young, not so much young couples, but a lot of couples maybe in their 30s and 40s they ask me, so what's up with this cable cutting? I hear people they're canceling their cable bills. Just because people are talking about it, in 3 years you will be seriously considering it. I know you will, and maybe only 2 years away. We're getting closer.
What about the rural people though that can't get that kind of service?
Internet access, you need high-speed internet access, and that's absolutely true. So yeah, if you have a cable company, you have internet access. But yeah, if I canceled my cable a long time ago, and I don't have a landline, and I also don't use Microsoft Office. But
Well, how are you talking to us?
I'm using an internet connection. I'm paying Time Warner Cable for my internet, but I don't have a cable box, and I'm not watching Channel 3 and Channel 36 and Spike TV and USA Network and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's something I want to watch, I either watch it on Netflix, or I maybe watch it on Hulu, or I watch it over the antenna, which is free, and that's HD, which is better quality than what gets sent to you in the box. All right, well, let's keep moving. These are good discussions. Hopefully, we've given you a couple of things to think about. Emma Day, did you have something to bring up? And then, Carolyn, we're going to get to you in just a moment.
Well, I'd love to know one thing. Every time I try, I don't understand. I've got 3 different connections to Google on my phone or iPad, and it's asked me all the time what my password is, and I know it's Safari is I use Google for, but the other ones I don't understand why there are other accounts for Google. I'm just really confused.
Okay.
About this.
Let's talk about this. I wonder, Emma Day, if you are thinking of, when you say connections, I wonder if you're thinking about email accounts. I wonder if you have more than one Gmail account. Do you think that's what you're talking about?
I just opened a Gmail account because they said I couldn't get something with it. I've never used it. I just opened it so that I could have access to Gmail, but I don't use it.
Right.
It's not that. It's I don't understand what it is. I've got Big G on there. What is the Big G for?
Big
That's
G.
not that's not Safari. It's Big G.
Right. Yeah, and you.
Google World?
Yeah, I think. Okay.
What is that?
What I've got to do here, Emma Day, is try to take the words that you're using and put them into words that I can understand. So when you say
Okay.
connections, Emma Day, are you talking about applications on your? Are you talking about little squares, little
Must
apps?
be like that Big G on your phone right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're talking about apps.
What is that?
Well, you're exactly right. There are different ways to talk to Google services. This little G right here is just a Google search button. So I can click that Google search button, and that's basically just Google's web page, and I can do lots of things. For instance, I can use the voice command. Where can I buy some new socks? And it'll find some places that I might be able to buy socks. So that's the Google search. So Google has just put a little button there for search. But if we go into Safari and we look at Safari up in the top area there, we can search in Google there as well. All right? So there's a lot of different places that we can search for Google. Google also has, if you look down, my phone's a little slow here and catching up. Give it a second. See down here, there's Google Maps. So there's another way to get to Google. And then YouTube is also a part of Google. So it's okay to have multiple Google apps. And then you may have a Gmail app. Some of us use a specific app just to check our Gmail on our phones. So they all have different services.
But they all ask me for a password, and I don't understand it.
That G, Emma Day, that G that I'm looking at right now, that's not going to ask me for a password.
They do it. It asks me for one, and it asks me for a 2-step verification.
Okay, well that's different here. The two-step verification. Maybe you're logging in, and what it's doing is it's giving you the opportunity to create what's called two-step verification. And two-step verification is important for anybody listening to understand. If I break into one of your homes and I steal your phone, and I want to get access, or maybe I can hack, or I steal your computer and I want to change your password, let's say, or I want to get access to your password, two-step verification means that, yes, I need to know my password, but there's also something else I need to know, a second step. And that second step means that the company you're talking about usually will have to send you a text message, a lot of times is what the second step is, and then they provide you a number, like a little 6-digit number. And they say, before you do what you want to do, provide us with this other information that we just sent to you. And if you have that information, then we'll let you change whatever piece that you want. And two-step verification is really popular now because it's a lot more secure. It means that you have more than one device in your hands. Now, if somebody breaks in and steals all your devices, then two-step verification doesn't really help very much. But maybe you're falling into that whole, they're asking you for two-step verification. So Emiday, to answer, one of the things that you could do is open up a web page and finish this two-step verification process. And the way that you'll do that is go to gmail.com, and when you do, log in to, see, I'm trying to log into my Gmail account from the web. And if you have not set up if you've not set up two-step verification, it is possible that the next screen that you see will be, oh, would you like to set up second tier verification? So that's my best answer. What do you think?
Well, then you have to remember the number they sent you, don't you? You have to do that every time you log in.
No, you only do it once. And basically what they're doing is they're proving that whatever maybe phone number that you've provided to them is a legitimate phone number. They're proving that they have not only the stuff that you've given it to them in the past, but that they have a doorway to send you more information, usually in the form of a text message. So
Okay.
no, you don't have to do it every time. You're just proving that that phone is in your possession and you do own that phone. So that if you ever needed to change your password, they know that you have access to that phone number.
Okay, I'll look at it again. I'll just see if I can figure it out.
Okay. Carolyn, let's move up to you. You've been so patient this evening. What can we help you with, Carolyn?
Two things. Finder, you know, my icon
Yeah.
at the bottom, it won't open.
Okay. And your second thing?
Don't laugh. Somebody gave me this fancy printer, and I don't know, I've done everything. It's hooked up to wireless, but it won't add. How do I add it to my...
Well, I know something about you, Carolyn, that the others don't know, and that is that you and printers have always had a history.
Yeah, we don't get along.
Well, let's jump over and take a look at your screen if we can, Carolyn. All right, so you're going to see a request for me. You're going to allow me permission to control, and you're going to allow to share your screen. So your Finder's not working, and you want to figure out what's going on with this printer. Maybe we can add this printer.
Okay.
I'm going to be getting off at the very latest 8 o'clock this evening, so we'll be cutting it. We'll be cutting it at 8. All right. Interesting. The first thing that I see here, Carolyn, I feel like a doctor, looking at somebody. The first thing that I see, and you guys glance down at her dock, and you see that these lights are on under all these apps, but the light is not on in the Finder, which means her Finder has quit. So click on that one time for us, Carolyn, and let's see if the Finder's not starting back. So the Finder has crashed, and it's dead at the moment. Let's try something. Under the black apple, Carolyn, in the top left-hand corner, choose Force Quit. Let's see if you have a Force Quit available.
I do. Click it.
Yes, select Force Quit, and that's going to bring up a dialog box. And let's see if Finder is one of those. Yes, it is. Select Finder, and then on the bottom right-hand corner of that window, kill it. So let's relaunch, and let's see how that works.
Relaunch.
Yes,
Right?
certainly. You take it away. And yes,
Do
you
I want to...
absolutely.
do you want... So relaunch again, right?
Yep, let's fire it away. Let's see what you got here. Now, we might have to do this twice. Let's do it one more time. Okay, and relaunch it one more time. Let's see if that'll happen. All right, Carolyn, what you need to do is restart your computer.
Oh, okay,
Have you?
I'll do that.
Yeah, you haven't restarted it in quite some time, probably, have you?
No,
It is very rare to see the Finder crash like that, but you have it. So if you restart your computer, the Finder will come back and everything will be happy again.
okay, let's add the printer.
All
I
right.
can do that.
Well,
I
let's-
don't have a problem.
Yeah, let's give it a shot here. Now I'm gonna control your computer now, and I'm going into System Preferences, and while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna close that window. We don't need that, and I'm gonna close this window. We don't need that either. And we're waiting for System Preferences. System Preferences might not launch if if your Finder is having problems.
System preference, that launches, because I've been able to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Now let's go to our printer. And troubleshooting printers is hard over the internet because I don't know whether or not your printer is actually connected. So I see that you have an Envy, and then you have a Photosmart, but then you're telling us that you have a new printer as well, right?
Well, yeah, somebody gave it to me, right, so it's really fancy.
Okay. What's so fancy about it? What's the serial number on this thing, or what's the number on it?
It's an HP OfficeJet Pro.
8500?
8500,
Okay.
A is an apple.
All right, 8500. All right. Now, is that printer plugged into anything? Like, is it plugged into? Is it? I know your office and where you work. You have an Airport Extreme down at your feet, right?
Yeah, but it's already hooked up wireless, because I did that.
All right. Well, here, let me tell you. Before we even troubleshoot this, let me tell you a blanket statement that I'll tell everybody. If I have the ability, if I have a printer very close to an airport router, 100% of the time, I would rather plug I'd rather plug the printer up to the back of the router, rather than trust the wireless software on the printer.
Okay.
But with that being said, let's trust the 8500. I like the Photosmart 8500. I like that. I mean, the OfficeJet. I like that printer. So let's see. You have gone in and you've gone into the 8500 settings and you've joined that network. Let's see if that's true or not. We're going to go down here and we're going to hit the plus sign. And, look, it sees one nearby. So we're going to say, yes, we would like you to join that. Now, it's looking for the drivers. Hopefully it will find the drivers. And it did. Look at that. Awesome.
Okay, got it.
And there it is.
Perfect, you did it.
All right. Okay.
You did it. Thank you.
I'm going to kind of round robin this. Actually, we've gone around to everybody. Whoever just wants to jump in and rudely, if you got another question, we got about 8 minutes left.
Scotty, I got one if you got time.
What do you got?
I got a question for you.
Take it.
Under iPhoto.
Yeah.
Is there a way to tell the computer or this iPhoto to put the date on the picture?
You mean physically label it? Like, so
Yeah.
you...
In other words, when the picture was taken, when I downloaded it from the camera?
Yeah. Now, that information is there. But John, what he's talking about, I think, John, what you want is you actually want to physically see it on the picture.
Right, exactly.
Uh,
If I emailed it to somebody, they could see when it was taken and all that.
They can. They don't have to see it printed on the picture. You're thinking back about 20 years ago when we took pictures and we printed them out, and they had that mark, that little watermark on the bottom. And nowadays that's bad fashion to have that, because I don't want to frame a picture that has a watermark of when it was taken. But that doesn't mean the information isn't there, John. The information is there. So if I send somebody a picture, let me see if I can. I really don't want to open iPhoto on this computer. I've got so many things open, but I guess I'll
Take control of mine. Do mine.
Okay, great. Let's do that. So open up iPhoto, and I'm going to send a message over to you. And you'll see that request, and there's also a request to control your screen. That information, John, is embedded in the hidden area of the picture, so to speak. But there's a very easy way. If the person wanted to know when it was taken, there's an extremely easy way to find out. All right, so there's a picture.
Info, right?
Yeah, it's in the info. So just for the heck of it, let's go back to last import, the top left-hand area, and click last import. Actually, let's go to photos, if you don't mind. Let's go to photos, yeah. All right.
What happened before, like these here pictures here, my drive crashed.
Yeah.
I had to pay somebody to copy them, and they copied everything down. And when I go to info, it says when it was reloaded from the guy that
Right.
took them off to get the hard drive.
Right, because that for some reason he changed the import date, or the import date got changed somehow or another. So there's a way for you to change all of the pictures to make them correct. So let's assume that this picture is correct just for a moment. Take that picture, drag it to the desktop. Any one of those pictures, a picture of a baby, drag it to the desktop. Click and drag and drop it onto the desktop.
When you say the desktop, any blank.
Yeah, right there is fine. All right. So no matter what method you use to email that, let's say I just emailed that picture to you. All right, and it's sitting there. So click on it one time, and you can either right click or you could go Control I to get info about it. So I'm sorry, either Command I, or you could right click on it and get info. So there you go, and then choose your get info, and then that get info. There you go. And then this little long list of information, part of that will be, in theory, when this was taken. Now, I said in theory. Okay, it was created on the January 15th, 2012. And obviously, that's probably not true. I can tell by the hairstyle. So that was longer ago than just a couple of months. So you want to change this. And you don't just want to change this one, you want to change all of them. Now, so you don't need to print it, and I wouldn't think about printing the title or printing the date of the picture on it. Just adjust the information in the background, the metadata. So let's close that, red button that out in the top left-hand corner. Let's close that window. We don't need that anymore.
Okay, you see where I have on there 2008?
Okay, yeah.
That's when it was actually taken, 3/7/2008.
Okay, great. Close that button. Now that we know when it was taken, let's change it. Now you could select multiple, but for now, just for learning, we're going to select just the one that we've got. Click on iPhoto again. So iPhoto is the active application. iPhoto has to be the active one, and we were in Finder just now, so click on iPhoto. Now iPhoto is the active application. I know iPhoto is the active application because in the top left-hand corner, the word iPhoto is there now. Now let's go up under Photos. The word Photos, top area. I believe it's, nope, even higher up, all the way in your menu bar. Yep. And we should see Adjust Date and Time. So try that again and get to Adjust Date and Time. There you go. And simple as that. Now that looks like the original. That's telling us, awesome, that the original was that time. Maybe you changed that, but if you go and modify the original file, the next time you drag that over, it will say that actual 3708. So you have to check that Modify Original box.
I got to check that.
Yeah, and so what you'll do, John, in the future is select maybe 50 of these from that day, and then go in and batch change or under Photos, choose Adjust Date and Time, and then change it that way. All right?
When you say select 50, what do I do? Drag them all down?
No. Hit cancel out of this. No. The word cancel in the middle of the screen. Yeah. All right. Now, if you, and I should be control your computer here, you could select multiples via many different ways. You could click on one, hold down I believe it's the Command key, and click on another one. And when you do that, you're selecting multiples that way. See how I'm doing that?
Yeah.
I'm holding down the Command key, and as I do that, I select many. Or you could shrink them down. In other words, instead of just seeing 6 pictures, shrink more so you can see more. And then you drag a rectangle around the ones that you want. So you click and you drag a rectangle and you let them go that way. And if there's one that you didn't want, like, man, I don't want to adjust that one, then you would take your finger, hold down the Command key, and unselect that one. And that would give you the remainders. Then you come up under Photos, and you could choose Adjust Date and Time. One of the things that I like to do instead of Adjust Date and Time is Batch Change. And if I select Batch Change, that's really the same thing. I'm just kind of old school, so I choose Batch Change, and then instead of title, I say, don't set the title, set the date. And then it gives me basically the exact same functionality. And I choose to modify the original. All right?
But you can't put the date on the actual picture in one of the corners or something like that, huh?
Honestly, it would kind of be considered bad taste, I think, these days. It would be so.
Well, the only thing is, say something happens to me, and they go through my albums and stuff, they have no idea when this was taken. I'm talking about from years ago and stuff like that. That I have pictures in there now, well, like 2005.
Yeah, I don't think iPhoto can stamp the date on the picture. There are programs that could, but I don't think that iPhoto has that ability. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Well, this gave me a good start.
All right.
Where I could change the, because some of them are.
All right.
They show 2013 now, and it was back in 2007 or 8. You know.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you maybe next Monday then for whoever joins us. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Scotty.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call